My dad and I are on a quest to dominate and win trophies against each other. Also known as the Glory Hunter Challenge, we have to win the league and cup in 5 of the biggest European leagues, as well as the Champions League and Europa. And after finally leaving Roma, Dad joined Manchester City and won 3 trophies in just 2 seasons, meaning he only has 5 trophies remaining in Glory Hunter as he searches for a new club. However, my time at Barcelona is taking slightly longer than I hoped, just because I can't win the Copa del Rey yet. And it's costing me time, as Dad is now only 2 trophies behind me. So it's time for Dad to put the pressure on and resign from Manchester City in search for his new venture. And it wasn't long before Atletico Madrid popped up looking for a new manager, and this is after a season where they had just finished in 4th place. After applying for the job, they did not take long before they got back to Dad and invited him in for an interview to potentially join me in Spain. And this indeed turned out to be the case, as Dad is the new manager at Atletico Madrid, who currently has some very good players in their side still. Meanwhile, while that was all going on, I accepted 2 bids for players, which would allow me to have enough money to bring in a world-class left-back from Liverpool. But I was also bringing in Benali from Lyon on a free transfer, who would be a good backup in that attacking midfield role. Once the players sold though, I could finally complete the signing of Pelletier, a 25-year-old French left-back who is absolutely incredible.
Oh my God!
Dad decided to stick with a familiar tactic at Atletico Madrid with the 4-2-2 narrow, and he has some fantastic talents up front, such as Ferdi from Turkey. A position that he was weak in was defensive midfield though, and that's why he spent £19 million on Barletta from Argentina, who instantly improves that dilemma. More signings came through next though, as Ivan Rodriguez from Celta, a Spanish centre-back who is left-footed, at a very good price. As well as Marcelo Hernandez from Manchester City, his former club, a striker who will go into the rotation. Although I started the season well, my second match against Real Madrid unfortunately ended in an away defeat. Dad began the new season at his new club with a great win, but we faced each other in just the 4th match of the season. And after a goalless first half, my Barcelona side took the lead through new signing Benali. But Dad could have had the game won himself, but his Atletico Madrid side missed 2 penalties, including the second in the 98th minute. Well, Dad, at Atletico Madrid,
do you know what?
I gave you a nice little welcoming present.
Yeah, I look at that game and I'm not disappointed with that game, really, because I look at the team that you've had, or you've got, and I've only lost 1-0.
Yeah.
So I've got to be happy with that, really. I've just come to this team. I'm just starting to build them. I've had a good home win against Valencia, away win against Valencia. So I'm not too unhappy with that result, really.
All right.
I don't think I'm going to win this league with the team that you've got at this present moment.
No, not while I'm here.
So I've got to hope that I can spawn a cup.
Yeah.
And then you get knocked out like you did last season, or come some silly result, because it always happens in these cup teams, isn't it? Just silly results, and I could do with that happening and going my way, really.
I mean, you've made a few signings, £48 million spent.
You know what I'm like with the spine of the team, so I've got a really good spine of the team there, midfield, defender, and a striker. So I've strengthened in the good positions, which is going to help me. So you just never know with this.
Good value for money, that striker as well. £12 million.
That was a good buy.
Obviously, a player from your old club who. Did you sign? No, you didn't sign him. He's been there for a while. But yeah, it's great money for him. Now, obviously, you're going for very similar to what just won you the treble.
Yeah.
In terms of that. And we're looking at this guy here.
The striker I had there, I can't remember who it was now.
Julian Alvarez,
that's right, yeah. He was coming to the end of his career, so I just thought, I'm going to take a chance, because this guy could be really good. And you always tell me, didn't you? Stick him in, give him the play time.
Mm-hmm.
This guy could be good if I do that. So I'm taking a chance.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to win the league, so it's worth taking the chance.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done. I've stuck him in.
Well, if we're looking at Barcelona, I stand every chance of winning the league, but it's not what I want.
No.
It's not what I'm looking for this season. I got my business done early as well. I only brought in 2 players. One of them was a free transfer in Nabil Benali, who scored the winner against Dad. But also, then I brought in £173 million worth of a left back. I mentioned maybe last season, might be in the season before, of just picking off one position and possibly my left back was fairly weak. I look at that guy and go, that's the best left back in the world.
And I think sometimes you've got to, when you see them, if you can afford them, you've got to grab them very quickly. Because they don't come up very often, do they? You're always looking for a left back or right back.
Yeah. Fullback's definitely the most difficult. £173 million. I think that's worth it. Now, looking at it tactically, he obviously goes straight in there. My left side now of Pelletier and Ron Richmond is got to be one of the best left-sided I've ever built up, to be fair. I'm only really thinking now, possibly my weakest position is maybe Darvic, but he's still really good.
Yeah.
It's not like he's bad. So hopefully Vieira can have a better season what he did last season. He's already started with 6-4 compared to, his first season was phenomenal for me. So that's what I needed to get back to. But again, it doesn't matter for me how I get on at the start of the season. I've already lost to Real Madrid. And actually, when I lost to Real Madrid, I was like, and then I thought, actually, that's quite good. Because Dad, it's another person against Dad. It's another team against Dad.
Yeah.
So I need. But then battering Real Betis 8-1. And we've seen how good they were last year. Weird. So again, my season doesn't really start until January. Yours is just begun with, you need the league and the cup. So. Yeah. Well, let's get cracking then. Dad's joined me, and this time I haven't ran away to another league. I stuck at it. Let's see if it affects me big time or whether or not Dad's a little bit out of his depth still. In the Champions League, I managed to top the league phase, only losing 1, beating Real Madrid, while Dad missed out on the top 8, only just finishing in 9th, but beating his old Roma side. Unfortunately for Dad, though, I had won every single other game in the league, with a big thanks to Hernani Vieira, who couldn't stop scoring goals. He currently has 31 in just 21 games so far in La Liga, as we open up a 9-point gap above Dad. Of course, though, my main focus is in the Copa del Rey, where Dad was eliminated in the 4th round by Real Betis. However, I managed to get all the way to the final, defeating Bilbao comfortably in the semi, and I will go on to face either Betis or Real Madrid in the final. I had the league wrapped up early, which meant it was no new trophies for Dad this season either, as with 5 games to go, I've only lost 2 games. However, in the Copa del Rey, it was indeed Real Madrid who met us in the final, and not only did we go 1 goal down, but we also conceded a second just after half-time. But this Barcelona side is too good, and despite missing Vieira because of injury, we still managed to fight back late on, eventually equalising and taking the game to extra time and penalties. And the momentum stayed with us in the penalty shootout as we scored our first penalty, whereas Real Madrid actually had their save thanks to Martinez in goal. And that was enough for us to finally win the Copa del Rey at the 3rd time of asking, and thus completing Spain. Our season wasn't quite over yet though, as we also had beaten Real Madrid at the Bernabeu in the first leg of the Champions League semi-final. And in the second leg, it was another game without Vieira, but we still managed to pick up a win and will go on to face Tottenham in the final, where Vieira returns. And what a game to return in! That Champions League final, as he opened up the scoring with a cracking header at the back post and then sealed the game up and completed the treble for Barcelona with a tap-in the second half. Well, Dad, you did the treble a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
I've done it here.
Yeah, I'm so disappointed. I mean, the league and the Champions League, fine. It's that Copa del Rey. I could have done with you losing that one again.
Mm-hmm.
But, hey, I'm looking at it. I mean, Real Madrid
Penalty
as well.
shootouts.
Yeah. I'm looking at it and thinking Real Madrid might sack their manager,
Well, yeah, they finished in 3rd. They were 5 points behind you.
That ain't good.
They obviously haven't won anything because
No.
I won it all. What they were able to win.
Yeah. So losing all of that and
Well, they won the Super
finishing
Cup.
3rd in the league,
Yeah,
they could be tempted,
they might be.
I'm well pleased. I did not expect to finish 2nd.
Very good. Yeah.
I did not expect that. Only
With that team.
only lost 4 games.
Yeah, but if we're looking at Real Madrid, I mean, they've got a hefty budget, so if you were to go, you're laughing, really.
Yeah.
Rudy George has been there for about 4 seasons now.
Yeah.
2 seasons.
They must be getting fed up with him sooner or later.
I mean, he's not amazing either.
No.
And if we're looking at, milestones of what he's done since he's been there, hasn't actually won a trophy outside of the Club World Cup.
So usually they would sack him for that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how much they rate the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that big of a deal on this version of the game because outside of a couple of European sides, it's quite easy to get to the final anyway.
Well, we know what Real Madrid's all about, and it's that big one. It's the Champions League.
So he's been there 2 seasons and won nothing.
Yeah.
So it is quite shocking.
I mean, your team, the Barcelona team, is so good that you can understand why for 2 seasons he's been nowhere near it.
Yeah.
But for me to come from nowhere, I think we finished 4th last season. But
yeah.
To bang him 5 points with the team that I had, I can't believe that.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the player statistics, by the way. Vieira got 46 goals, which is incredible for a 38-game season. Yeah. We had 5 out of 5 in the highest average rating and 5 out of 5 in the most assists. That's That's astonishing, isn't it? That is mental.
I mean, you look at that group of 6 things there. Like you had the top one for every. Oh no, the clean sheets wasn't yours.
Yeah, clean sheets. Narcis, who's
that's surprising.
at
really,
Villarreal. Yeah, who had quite a lot more as well, by the way.
He looks great, doesn't he?
Yeah, so 21 clean sheets out of 38 isn't bad at all, is it?
No.
They finished in 5th place. But I had 125 goal difference there, which is just short of being double of what you had. You finished 2nd. So very good season, but it will be time for me to leave Barcelona now. Where will I go next?
Bad news for me, that was.
So I want to just appreciate this team won last time. I very much enjoyed my time at Barcelona. How short it has been, 3 seasons. Actually, for my managerial career, how long it's been. The longest tenure I've had, 3 seasons. Hernani Vieira. If I can find a way of taking him to my next club, I absolutely will, because I love him. But I very much doubt when I leave, the valuation will stay at £90 million. Because for some reason, whenever you're a manager at somewhere, the valuation is normally about half of what it is when you then leave. But Ron Richmond has done me proud as well. Lamine Yamal at only 26. I had a good couple of seasons of him. But it will be sad to go. Dad, your side has obviously defied the odds a little bit here.
Yeah.
We mentioned Saregi. The development on him has been great in 1 season.
Really pleased with that.
Like, he has turned into a great player for you.
That just sort of proved it was well worth doing that, because that means, I don't need a striker. I can stick with him up front with the other guy that I played up front with him. That's brilliant. 33 goals, I'm happy with that.
Even the other ones is not too bad, really. Just a couple of players around it, and you'll be looking quite close to challenging Real Madrid every season. It's just whether whoever comes in at Barcelona.
I could do with someone leaving Barcelona and buying a lot of their players. The worst thing about it is I can't go for the Barcelona job. That's the worst thing about it.
That's the rules.
That'd have been just straight in and done the business again, I think.
That makes it too simple.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's fair enough. I could do with the Real Madrid manager moving to Barcelona.
That would be hilarious. Or just getting sacked in general.
Yeah.
£26 million, though, is not a lot of money.
No.
There is value in the squad. But what about jobs? Obviously, I'll be looking to leave. I could cause a bit of a managerial merry-go-round because the Barcelona job doesn't come up very often. Right now, though, there's 2 jobs there. AC Milan. I don't need to go to Italy. I got that done in 2 seasons. And AC Milan, you actually do, though.
Yeah, I do need to win the cup.
Yeah, Roma's still doing well, though. They still won the league.
Roma's...
Because that job came up last season. You had an opportunity to take it.
And I looked at it. Do you know, out of the 2 teams, they looked awful, the team that had there, compared to what...
Vincent Kompany took over, by the way, which was quite funny.
And they won the league, so
he left.
I stayed away from
Atletico Madrid.
And I took his job.
So there we go.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other job, the Chelsea job in the Premier League, in 7th place, gets me Europa League football.
I can't believe... I'll tell you what, you have had some luck with jobs coming available, haven't you?
I call it skill.
No, I call it luck. Because when I've come available for another job, what teams come up then? None. I've had to scrape through it.
You stayed at Roma too long, and that's your problem, not mine.
What could I have gone to, though, really?
There was so many jobs that came up that you could have gone to.
Not that good.
The Liverpool, the Spurs job came up. You turned that one down. They went on and won the league, I think, a couple of seasons ago. They won a Champions League. But yeah, if I do decide to go for that Chelsea job, which you got to think if I start applying for that job, I should be able to get it.
You walk into that place, I think.
That is a very appealing... If we're looking at the team, though, because obviously they have finished in 7th place, they've sacked the manager off the back of that. Benjamin Sesko's there.
I'm looking at that now, and I've just seen a striker there that's not on there.
Evan Ferguson.
There he is, yeah. God almighty, look how good he is.
We've been tracking where he's gone, and we knew he was there. There's a couple of good players as well that I had on my shortlist last year, including this guy here, Jack Robertson, because look how good his physicals are. At centre-back, he looks great as well.
You got Fati there as well.
Yeah, Ansu Fati's there. Caicedo stood at the club. I think their left-back's quite good, because I had him on my shortlist when I looked to buy the left-back, of course, last season. He's a Turkish player. He was kind of like, all right, if I can't get the one I want, he was a little bit of a cheaper option. So there is some fantastic players here that I think, Scalvini in the middle, he's been there for a while, I think. Yeah, for 4 seasons. I had him, of course, at Atalanta.
Yeah.
So that'll be a nice little reunion should I get that job. Do I? Do I even apply for it? Do I?
What do you mean, do I?
I mean, I could, yeah, but the thing is, if I leave Barcelona, whoever takes that might be a more appealing job. But I have to win the FA Cup, and I have to win the Europa League. Chelsea's in both of those competitions next season.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Before I even make that decision, it's time to tick off the Copa del Rey trophy in my Glory Hunter cabinet first. But immediately after that, it is time to resign and see where our next adventure will take us. Another glance at this Chelsea side though, and I decide it's good enough for me to at least apply for and send in my CV. Meanwhile, Dad is changing his system and locking in the 3 up front that he loves so much. Which means he needs more strikers, so he brings in Becker for just 15 million. A free transfer also came at centre-back who joins his side too, as well as 2 more free transfers later on as an attacking midfielder and a new goalkeeper joins the squad. But he is looking to sell a number of players too to make even more signings. It isn't long after that though that I'm finally being invited in to interview for the Chelsea job. And as you can imagine, after the treble I won last season, I was offered the role rather quickly as I returned to the Premier League. And we are going to be implementing my Porto system with 3 strikers and 3 midfielders. Arteta then decides to leave Arsenal and take over at Barcelona, which is a step up considering last season they finished in 5th place while my Chelsea was down in 7th. Dad was furious though next as his midfield target Sammy Masson, who he had at City, chose Real over Atletico. And so he settled for Sinisterra instead for £59 million, who is still a very good defensive midfielder from Spurs. I made my first signing of the window next for Chelsea, as it's the Barcelona midfielder that I signed, Zaire Emery, for a fraction of the cost that I paid for him at Barcelona. Dad was losing out on more targets though, as the goalkeeper Dennis Simon went to Inter Milan. So instead, Dad went and spent big on the Portuguese goalkeeper at Real Sociedad, who is still a very capable goalkeeper. Dad started the season in the league very well, winning his first 3 games. But my start doesn't matter though, as it's all about the FA Cup and the Europa League. Well, I'm here, Chelsea. I've got 2 jobs to do.
I don't think there's any doubt that you was going to win it. Get the job, was it really? So
The Europa League and the FA Cup. Don't have to worry about the Premier League. The team's actually quite good. I've been rejecting a few offers for players that I think, maybe I should have sold them. But I've decided to keep hold of the majority of them, despite them being some of them that are like 33, 34 and probably would lose their value completely next season.
Yeah.
But I decided to keep a lot of them. Now the players that I did decide to bring in, just the one, and that was Warren Zaire Emery. Of course, I bought him at Barcelona for quite a lot of money as well, if you remember, £131 million. For less than half of that, even though he did play quite a lot of games, 29 games in the league alone last season, £60 million he was transfer listed for. That's a steal. He's only 28.
How much was that other player that you really wanted to look at?
Hernani. Yeah. So his price skyrocketed because I know everybody's going to be thinking, well, surely you go for that. Of course, Mikel Arteta took the job. Ryan Richmond is still there as their key player, but Hernani Vieira, you're looking at now.
They stuck over 100 million on
Yeah. Over 100 million. His price over doubled what we were looking at when I left the club, which is exactly what I mean. And I don't think it's because he signed a new contract or anything, 2033. No, that's when I signed him. Yeah. But when I last signed a contract with him. So he hasn't only got a new contract. It's just the valuation of when you're in charge compared to when somebody else is. And unfortunately, Mikel Arteta has took over, and he has been everywhere, by the way, in this save, because he has followed us quite a lot. He's been at Arsenal twice, Bayern Munich, which of course I think was like the job he took after I left Bayern Munich, Roma when you left Roma. It's been like non-stop just following us. He got the Arsenal job again, and then Barcelona now. So it's quite interesting how that all played out. Now he's, of course, against you. But I've started the season okay. Tactically, I'm going for the same tactic as what I had at Porto. And the reason for it is I quite like the look of the 3 strikers that I have. Sternal, Ferguson, and, of course, Ansu Fati there. There's a good amount... and Sesko coming off the bench, by the way, ain't bad. There's a good enough amount of strikers to play that role. With Zaire Emery coming into that midfield 3, which is absolutely solid now. Another player that I didn't highlight before was this guy, the defender. I mean, look how good his physicals are. It's unbelievable. 25-year-old German. But we're looking at, Dad, what you've got. You signed quite a lot of free transfers to kick things off. but then went big with 2 players. Sinistera, because you missed out quite a lot of targets, actually.
Oh, that was unbelievable. Ones I was trying to get, and they just kept on going to other teams. So,
yeah. So
One of them
Sinistera
Madrid,
was the
wasn't it?
second choice,
Yeah.
but he has good potential.
Yeah, I mean, he's only a young lad, so 24, so yeah, it might be worth sort of locking him in that position and see how he gets on as well.
Yeah, and then Eduardo Santos, the goalkeeper. Seaman was obviously your first choice.
Yeah, he was,
as
yeah.
it always is. He loves Seaman, does my dad. Eduardo Santos.
Don't take my tone, is it?
Eduardo Santos is the keeper that you ended up with. It's got a bit. Not with me, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
Eduardo Santos, £51 million from Real Sociedad,
Yeah.
is the goalkeeper. Actually, we looked at him, didn't we, when we seen the Sociedad
Yeah.
squad came up?
Yeah, we was,
before
yeah.
you took the Atletico Madrid
yeah.
job, he was there as their key player. So you've stolen their key player. Tactically, you've changed it because, of course, you have. I mean, why wouldn't you change that to define the odds and finish
second in the league, but the way I'm looking at it, Barcelona is still such a good side. The best I can do is second in the league again. The cup game is a one-off game.
Right.
That team is all about scoring goals. So one-off games, I could win. The league is over a season. That team won't win the league over a season, and neither with my old tactic.
Yeah.
I reckon that the second place would be the best I could get with the old tactic still.
Yeah.
So that's what I've changed it for. I've got 3 good strikers there now.
Yeah.
So, and I've locked the guy in midfield. So I'm hoping that he's not the best midfielder, as you can see. Bamba was.
Yeah, Bamba goes in there. And I
Yeah.
don't rate Bamba at all. In
No,
that
I
position.
didn't. So that's why I've locked this guy in. So I'm hoping really that is a good midfield I've got there. Very strong midfield. The defence is a little bit sort of dodgy, but going forward, I'm quite good. So I'm just hoping one-off games. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I got a chance.
Okay. Well, let's look at things in terms of I've got to win Europa League still. That's the only fixtures we can see right now that potentially affects this season going forward. I've got to play Rennes at one point, which is... They always show up and somehow muck things up for me.
They do, yeah. So come on, Rennes.
Yeah, so I've got them at home. Should absolutely batter them
Yeah, you should do,
and
really, yeah.
laugh them all the way back to the airport. But the rest of it...
You got no problem there, have you?
No,
really?
I should go through.
Yeah.
Comfortably. If we're looking at every team in the competition that caused me trouble, I mean...
There's not many there.
Well, there's a top one that is my old club,
Yeah.
Manchester United, who probably could cause me trouble.
100%. You know that is your biggest problem there.
Yeah,
After that, you know, you're going to lose a silly game.
yeah. Ange
And it's gonna cost you.
Postecoglou's there
Yeah.
still. They've still got basically the same team as when I left it. They've actually improved it in some ways. They got like Burrito, who's come in and
Yeah.
looks really good. But yeah, they haven't lost any players that I brought in or there was there that, you know, makes such a big difference. It's still the basis of a very good Manchester United team there. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be those two. Yeah. Right. Well, I've got 2 trophies left. The FA Cup, the Europa League. Can I get at least one of them ticked off? Hopefully, it is the Europa League because if I don't finish... If I finish below 5th, I'll either get sacked or...
If you're going to lose out on one of them, I want you to lose out on the Europa League because I think that's the hardest. You've got to go finding a team for that one.
Yeah, which, by the way, has been played at the Newport Community Stadium, which was built in 2025. I don't know whether this is actually like planned in real life, but Newport have a 43,000-seater stadium, and it's not for Newport County.
It's weird, that, isn't it?
So, I mean, I've been to Newport. There's not much going on there. I wrestled there a few times. My old tag partner come out saying, "What's happening, sheep?" And I was like, "Oh no!"
Like he does.
Yeah. So there's not much going on there. I don't know how they're going to fill a 43,000-seater stadium, but anyway, they've got it for Europa League final, which hopefully I might be able to get to this season. So let's find out. Let's get this season underway and see if I can tick either that or the FA Cup off. Well, things started very well as I was top of the Premier League, qualified with the games going Europa, but have Manchester City in the League Cup final and in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Unfortunately for Dad, my Barcelona side is still dominating Spain with an unbeaten start and 10 points ahead of this Atletico side. And that Barcelona team is also who Dad has in the semi-final of the Copa del Rey. My FA Cup was put into jeopardy by an early red card with my left back being sent off after just 25 minutes. Even still, we held on valiantly so well until the end of extra time, until they finally scored in the 113th minute where Manchester City knocked us out of the FA Cup. And that's actually really annoying considering I just smashed them 9-1 in the other cup final, and that game was literally played 3 days before the FA Cup tie. Despite losing to Barcelona in the first leg of the semi-final of the Copa del Rey, Dad was still optimistic, and he had every right to be, as Atletico's side put in a really good performance to beat Barcelona and progress through to the Copa del Rey final. The final itself wasn't played much long after, and it was against Girona at the Nou Camp, but Girona took the lead in the first half. It wasn't until the 77th minute where Dad's side finally found an equaliser, and with momentum on their side, they pressed for a winner and succeeded to lift the Copa del Rey trophy. I was on a different quest though, as I looked to lift the hardest trophy to win in Glory Hunter, the Europa League. And I was progressing comfortably through to the quarter-finals of the competition against Werder Bremen, and I have been drawn against Frankfurt in the semis, in which we got the job done in the first leg with a cracking 3-0 win with 2 goals in the first 15 minutes, wrapping up the tie and cruising through with a 0-0 draw in the second leg, but against Manchester United in the final. I secured the Premier League title as well, while Dad was trailing Barcelona by 12 points after they only lost 1 game all season. The final of the Europa League was so important, however, because if I lose, my Chelsea side won't be in it next season for me to try and win it again, and that's why I absolutely got terrified when United took the lead and went 3-1 up after just 23 minutes through Kobe Mainu. But I wasn't going to let my old team ruin my chances that easily, and we got ourselves back into the game and went into half-time with a score 3-3. After a half-time rollicking, my Chelsea side came flying out the traps and Caicedo bagged his hat-trick to make it 4-3, while Badiashile scored our 5th and the final goal of the game to see us lift the Europa League trophy. Well, Dad, I went to Newport. The stadium's lovely, by the way.
Yeah.
And I won the Europa League. Yes! Oh. And it was against our former club. 3-1 down,
We did say Man United would be your biggest threat, didn't we?
Yeah.
But that's bad news. That is the biggest bad news I've had on this whole challenge. I needed you to keep losing that one.
Yeah. 1 trophy remaining. That's all I need to complete Glory Hunter.
It's funny because it's always the FA Cup for you, isn't it?
It's always the last one. Bloody FA Cup. But I have not got the job done. Unfortunately for me, Manchester City knocked me out.
My old team,
in the 5th round on extra time as well. Went on to win it.
Yeah.
But I have won the league by 10 points, which tells you that I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
Won Europa League. Won the league. Just the FA Cup to go. Evan Ferguson matched Erling Haaland's 28 goals there, and Ansu Fati and Ferguson also had the 2 highest average rating. We are looking very good indeed. Just a couple of players, and possibly we could be in for a very good cup run in the FA Cup. I have only got £17 million though, and I don't know whether that's because finances are just, they are terrible. They are really bad. So, I mean, I don't think there's any jobs going on right now that I'd bring it. Manchester City, I could go with that, because there is a manager in between. I could go to Manchester City.
They still got Bellingham, still got Haaland. Oh, no.
Because Pep Guardiola, by the way, went there after you did, spent 2 years and got sacked after winning 1 league and 4 cups. Because they finished in 7th place. What would have been hilarious if I needed to win the Europa League and that came up, that would have been perfect. Dear. That would have been lucky, I'll give you that one. But I don't have to worry about that. They are the holders of the FA Cup, though. That is quite tempting. There is a great team there. I might have to look more into that and assess which team is better. But Dad, I mean, there is a cause for a celebration for you as well. You've knocked one of the domestic trophies off with the Copa del Rey win.
I called it, didn't I? Barcelona win the league.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky with the cup run, because I if I remember rightly, didn't I beat both of them?
So you Pontevedra, quarter-final was Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And then semi-final was indeed Barcelona. So,
I've done it the hard way.
You did.
One-off games.
Yeah.
One-off games. You'd always
seeing
have a
Girona
chance.
in the final, you think, he got an easy... No, he knocked them both out.
Yeah. When I seen semi-final Barcelona, I thought, that's it. Job done. They're going to just wipe it with me. But no, I've done them. So, yeah, I'm really pleased with that. That's a really hard one to get in when you're not one of the two top teams.
Yeah. I mean, you stayed in second as well.
Yes.
You're still splitting them.
Yeah, I was there most of the season. I mean, I've still done them by 5 points from Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So it's 2 seasons I've done Real Madrid by 5 points.
And they've still got Rui George.
They still won't sack him. Come on.
You were checking it.
Yeah.
He was ready to make the move from one Madrid to the other.
But when you see the players that they've got there still, and you're thinking, I'm going to just jump in there. They got the money.
Kylian Mbappe's 36 and still there, by the way. Look at that. And Endrick is 28. Endrick is nearly in his 30s.
Yeah.
His hairline will finally match his age. But he is classed as their key player. But if we're looking at money in terms of Real Madrid, they have £291 million. Dad, you only have 125 million.
That's
a lot.
They're helping me. So
yeah, they've supported you.
That's
there.
what makes it really hard now. What do I do now? Do I stick or do I look to go somewhere? Because really, I mean, I still can't see anybody beating Barcelona unless you're Real Madrid and spend the money that they've got and get some really good world. You got a chance of taking them on.
Yeah.
I still don't think one decent player, 125 million, world class player.
Yeah.
For my team, would that make my team better than Barcelona?
To win the league, yeah. You have to find a combination of a system and hope that they have a bad year.
It's going to be interesting, though. You know, I'm going to have a go at it. Mm-hmm. I'm only going to leave Real Madrid for
Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid for Real Madrid.
What? So even if like Porto or Sporting came up,
it's going to be difficult then, isn't it? But
yeah.
The only one I would say would be a definite. I would say then is if Real Madrid sack the manager, 100% I'll go for Real Madrid job.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I'm going to stay
because Benfica's there, but we've looked at them. They're crap.
I mean, usually I jump at the chance of doing Benfica, don't I?
Yeah, but they're very bad.
Yeah.
I mean, when Amadora is finishing in third place, you know you are really bad.
Something's definitely wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, the Portal one is the obvious one you're going to go
£17 million as well.
Yeah.
Like, their key player is this guy, and he is a striker. I think.
Finishing.
Yeah, when we looked at it, he was their striker. Yeah. Badiashile, he's been playing up front from. No wonder why. He's actually only on loan. So when their best player is a loanee, you know it's probably a no-go.
Yeah. So the only team I'm going to leave for would be Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And if that job don't come up, I've got to take on Atletico Madrid and have a go at Barcelona. So that's what I've got to try and do now.
All right. Well, do I move to Manchester City? That's the question. Is that a silly move or not? I think I'm going to have to assess it because it could be a potential there for an easy FA Cup win. But we'll have to find out. And you'll have to stick around for Glory Hunter because I've got a big trophy to add to my cabinet, as well as Dad, who just won the Copa del Rey. That's right, Dad adds the Copa del Rey to his Glory Hunter cabinet, meaning just 4 to go, but it's in 3 different nations. However, unfortunately for Dad, I am already in the right place to win my last remaining trophy that I need, as I finally get the Europa League done. But as we all know, anything can happen in Glory Hunter, so you do not want to miss what happens next.